Chosen one, stop trying to fit back in. I know that the silence has been growing around you. I know that the invitations have become fewer, that the circle has become smaller, that there are evenings when you sit alone and the quiet feels heavier than it used to. I know that a part of you has been wondering whether the isolation is a sign that something is wrong, whether you have been left behind, overlooked, forgotten by the people and the momentum you used to feel connected to. But here is what heaven needs you to understand before this video goes 1 second further. You have not been abandoned, you have been secured. The God who is about to hand you a wealth blueprint so specific, so detailed, and so powerful that it will change the trajectory of your entire financial life, that God cannot deliver that blueprint into a crowded room. He cannot speak the frequency of million-dollar strategy over the noise of voices that have not been cleared to hear it. He pulled you into the quiet on purpose. The solitude is not a sentence. The solitude is a clearance level. Welcome to Chosen Wealth Wisdom. The Chosen One does not generate wealth in the crowd. The Chosen One receives the blueprint in the silence. Before we go further, here is what I need from you right now. If you have felt the pull towards solitude growing stronger, if something in you has been choosing quiet over noise, stillness over stimulation, the private room over the public gathering, and if you have had even one moment in the last few days where a financial idea arrived in that silence so clearly, it surprised you, type the words "Solitude is power" in the comments. Right now. Drop it right now, because the ones who type that today are the ones heaven is already in conversation with. And subscribe to Chosen Wealth Wisdom before you go any further, because this channel is the strategic companion for chosen ones who are in exactly the season you are in right now. Stay with me. 3 days ago, you were invited somewhere, and you said no. Not because you were sick, not because you had a prior commitment that was genuinely more important. You said no because something in you, something quiet and persistent and surprisingly firm, simply did not want to go. You wanted to stay in the stillness. You wanted to be with your own thoughts. You wanted the kind of silence that you cannot find when other people's energy is in the room. And maybe you felt a little guilty about it. Maybe you questioned whether the withdrawal was healthy or whether it was something to be concerned about. But here is what happened in the hours after you made that choice. An idea arrived, not a vague impression, a specific, structured, clear financial idea, a direction, a strategy, a piece of the puzzle that you had been trying to force into place for months, and that dropped, fully formed, into your mind in the middle of the silence you had protected. And you noticed it for a moment, and then, because you had not yet been given the language to understand what was happening, you dismissed it. You told yourself it was just a thought. You moved on. That was not just a thought. That was the first drop of the wealth blueprint that heaven has been trying to deliver into the frequency that only solitude creates. And today, you receive the language to understand what that moment was and what it means for everything that is coming next. The Hebrew word is hitbodedut, spelled Hitbodedut, and once you understand this word, you will never look at your solitude the same way again. Hitbodedut is not loneliness. Loneliness is an involuntary condition, the painful experience of wanting connection and not having it. Hitbodedut is something categorically different. It is a deliberate, intentional, chosen act of separating oneself from every external voice for the specific purpose of entering direct, unmediated conversation with the source. The word is built from the Hebrew root badad, which means to be alone, but alone in the sense of being singular, set apart, undiluted by mixture with anything lesser. In the Jewish mystical tradition, Hitbodedut was practiced by some of the greatest spiritual and financial architects in history. They would withdraw sometimes daily into complete solitude and speak to God in their own words, in their own language, about their specific situation, their specific vision, and their specific needs. Not liturgical prayer, read from a page. Spontaneous, direct, personal conversation. And in that conversation, in the unfiltered, undistracted space of genuine Hitbodedoo, something happened that could not happen anywhere else. The frequency of the person practicing it became temporarily free from the fear, the doubt, the scarcity, and the skepticism of everyone around them. And, in that clean frequency, the downloads arrived. The strategies became clear. The blueprint appeared. This is why the greatest wealth in history has always been conceived in solitude before it was executed in public. The plans that changed industries, built empires, created generational legacies, they were not developed in boardrooms filled with competing voices. They were received in the private space of a mind that had been deliberately cleared of noise and set at the frequency where heaven could speak without interference. Your Hitbodedut is not a withdrawal from life. It is the most productive thing you are doing right now. The silence is not empty. The silence is the studio where the blueprint is being drawn. Now, let me show you what heaven observed in you during the season when the solitude deepened. Because the wealth blueprint is not delivered to everyone who is alone. It is delivered to the ones whose character in the alone season reveals that they are ready for what the blueprint contains. The first thing heaven observed was your contentment in the cave. There was a period, and I need you to find it specifically in your memory, when the solitude was most intense and the temptation to reach for the noise was most available. The phone, the social media, the endless scroll through other people's highlights, the comparison between where you were and where it appeared that everyone else was moving. And instead of filling the silence with those things, you did something that required a quiet but genuine act of discipline. You let the silence be silent. You sat with the discomfort of not knowing what others were doing and chose the presence of God over the distraction of performance. You learned not perfectly, not without struggle, but genuinely how to be content in the space of your own company and His. That contentment broke a specific addiction, the addiction to external validation, the need to be seen, acknowledged, confirmed by an audience before you could believe that what you were doing had value. And a person who has broken that addiction is a person who can build something in secret, can work on the blueprint without needing applause for the process, which is exactly the capacity required to bring $1 million idea from conception to completion without the noise of other people's opinions destroying it before it has the chance to become real. The second thing heaven observed was your silent study. In the solitude, you have been building, quietly, privately, without announcement, without the social media post about your progress, without the external accountability partner who knows every detail of your plan. You have been reading, researching, learning, developing the financial understanding that the season ahead will require. You have been sitting with books, with charts, with models, with ideas that are larger than your current circumstances, and you have been doing it alone, without applause, without an audience, without anyone to validate the effort. This is the behavior of a kingdom treasurer in training, not a person performing preparation for an audience. A person genuinely preparing because they understand that the season they are moving into will demand a level of financial intelligence that their previous education never gave them. The silent study is not just self-improvement. It is the equipping of a steward for an assignment that is already confirmed in heaven and approaching in the natural. Every page you read in the quiet is a brick in the infrastructure of the empire you are building. And heaven has been watching every single page turned in the silence and saying, ready, more ready, still more ready. Stop. Sit with that for a moment. The private preparation that no one is witnessing is the very preparation that heaven is most attentively watching. Because the person who prepares in secret, without audience, without reward, without applause, that is the person who will execute faithfully in public when the platform arrives. The Hitbodedut season is the certification season, and you are earning the certificate in every quiet hour. Now let me give you 5 signs that your solitude is already producing wealth, not as a future promise, but as a present tense reality, actively working in your financial life right now. The first sign is idea clarity. In the moments of genuine solitude, the ones where the phone is face down and the noise is genuinely absent, the solutions to financial problems that have resisted every active attempt to solve them are arriving with a precision and a completeness that active thinking never produced. Strategies that make sense in all their sequential steps. Business models that arrive already structured. Answers to the questions that have been blocking your forward momentum for months. This is not your brain working better in quiet, though that is also true. This is the download frequency of Hitbodedut, operating exactly as it was designed, delivering blueprint intelligence to a mind that has been cleared enough to receive it. The second sign is the noise filter. You have begun to notice a specific, uncomfortable intolerance for certain kinds of conversation. Conversations about limitation, conversations that rehearse scarcity, that circulate complaint, that perform lack as a kind of social bonding. You used to participate in these conversations without much friction. Now they feel physically uncomfortable, like wearing the wrong frequency on your skin. This is not arrogance. This is the natural consequence of a person whose internal frequency has been upgraded by the Hitbodedut season. Your ears have been recalibrated. They can now distinguish between conversations that contribute to the blueprint and conversations that erode it. The discomfort is discernment. Let it be. The third sign is the strategic download. You have been experiencing what I described in the opening of this message, the arrival of specific, structured, financial intelligence immediately following a period of deliberate solitude. A prayer session that ends with a business idea you did not begin with. A quiet morning walk that produces a strategy you could not have constructed by deliberate effort. A moment of stillness in which the missing piece of a plan you have been working on simply appears, fully formed, without apparent effort. These are not coincidences of mental process. These are the strategic downloads of Hitbodedut, heaven's delivery mechanism for blueprint intelligence operating in real time in your life. Every download is a piece of the total blueprint. Write them all down, every single one, because you are assembling something larger than any individual piece suggests. The fourth sign is financial restitution arriving through stillness. This one requires careful attention because it contradicts every natural instinct about how money moves. You have been in situations, financial situations, where money was owed to you, where resources had been blocked, where provision had been delayed, and you had been actively pursuing resolution through repeated effort, repeated follow-up, repeated pressure. And the resolution did not come while you were chasing it. It came the moment you stopped, the moment you entered the stillness and released the pursuit to God. The payment arrived, the door opened, the blocked resource was freed. Not because the action stopped mattering, but because the anxiety-driven pursuit was interfering with the frequency through which the provision needed to travel. Stillness is not passivity. Stillness is the specific frequency that allows certain kinds of provision to arrive that active anxiety repels. The fifth sign is the convergence of connections in your quiet season. In the solitude, while you have been focused inward, something has been happening outward that you may not have fully registered. The right people have been finding you, not through your effort, through your frequency. The Hitbodedut season has been calibrating your spiritual signal, and that calibrated signal is drawing the Boaz connections, the strategic partners, the covenant relationships, the people whose assignment intersects with yours in ways that produce significant momentum. They are being navigated toward you by heaven with the same precision that heaven used to navigate you into the quiet. The solitude was never the destination. The solitude was the preparation room. And the people who will walk through the door when the preparation is complete will be exactly the right ones, because the noise of the wrong ones was filtered out during the season of silence. Now, let me speak directly about the warfare operating against you in this season, because the enemy's strategy in the Hit-Bodhidhat season is specific and it is powerful, and if you do not name it clearly, it will cost you the very momentum the Solitude is building. His strategy is FOMO, the fear of missing out, the carefully constructed anxiety that while you are in the quiet, the world is moving forward without you, that the opportunities are happening in rooms you are not in, that the connections are being made at events you declined to attend, that the people you used to run with are advancing while you are sitting still, that the Solitude, however spiritually framed, is actually just falling behind, dressed up in the language of consecration. The enemy deploys this strategy with precision because it targets the specific insecurity of a person who is transitioning from a public, connected, socially visible season into a private, quiet, internally focused one. The transition feels, from the inside, uncomfortably similar to irrelevance. And the discomfort of that feeling is the opening the enemy needs to pull you back into the noise before the blueprint is fully delivered. Here is the truth that dismantles the lie. You cannot miss what was not assigned to you. Every gathering you did not attend that contained something you needed, God will bring what you needed to you through a different door. Every connection you did not make in the noise, the right ones will arrive in the quiet. Every opportunity that appeared to pass while you were in the Hit-Bodhidhat season, if it was for you, it will circle back. If it does not circle back, it was never for you to begin with, and the energy spent chasing it would have cost you something irreplaceable that the Solitude was protecting. The declaration that breaks the FOMO strategy is this. Say it out loud right now. My solitude is not absence. My solitude is protection. I am not missing anything. I am building everything. The blueprint being formed in my quiet is worth more than every invitation. I decline to receive it. I am not falling behind. I am moving forward in the only direction that produces permanent results, inward before outward. I am the castle of abundance, and the wealth being built in my silence will outlast everything built in the noise. Say it again, with more authority. Let it settle into the place where the FOMO has been living and displace it completely. Now receive the final activation. In the next 24 hours, while you are alone, specifically while you are alone, you are going to receive a signal of connection. Not the forced connection of noise and crowd, but the precise, meaningful, covenant-quality connection of something or someone that arrives directly from heaven into your quiet. It may be an email from someone whose name stops you mid-breath, a call from a person you have not heard from in a season whose timing feels impossibly precise, a financial notification that arrives in the middle of a moment of stillness. Whatever form it takes, your spirit will recognize it as the fruit of the Hit-Bodhidhat, as the evidence that the silence was never empty, that heaven was in the room the entire time, that what was being prepared in the quiet was always moving toward this specific moment of manifestation. When it arrives, sit with it in the solitude before you share it with anyone. Let the first response be gratitude in the quiet. Let the Hit-Bodhidhat be the context in which you receive its confirmation. Now sit upright, place both hands on your knees, palms facing upward, the posture of a student before a master, of a steward before the source, and say these words out loud. I honor the silence. I receive the blueprint that only solitude can carry. I release the anxiety of missing out, and I receive the abundance of being set apart. The castle of my mind is being filled right now with strategies, with clarity, with wisdom, and with the specific financial intelligence that my assignment requires. I am not alone in the quiet. The source is with me, speaking what the crowd could not hear and delivering what the noise could not carry. The wealth that begins in solitude is the wealth that lasts, and it begins now. Amen. Receive this decree over your Hit-Bodhidhat season. I declare that the solitude surrounding you is not rejection, but refinement. Every evening, alone, Every invitation declined, every quiet hour that felt uncomfortably still. These were the protected spaces in which heaven was drawing the blueprint that your public season will execute. The preparation is complete. The blueprint is ready. And the person walking out of this season of silence will carry a level of financial clarity, strategic intelligence, and spiritual alignment that no amount of public networking could have produced. I declare that the 5 signs of solitude producing wealth are fully active in your life right now. The idea clarity is sharpening. The noise filter is protecting your frequency. The strategic downloads are arriving. The financial restitution is flowing through your stillness, and the right connections are being drawn to your calibrated signal with a precision that will make their arrival feel like the most natural thing in the world. I declare that the FOMO strategy of the enemy is completely dismantled over your life as of this declaration. You are not behind. You are ahead specifically because you chose the blueprint room over the performance room, the hit bodhidut over the noise, the preparation over the appearance of preparation. And the world will see the evidence of that choice when you emerge from this season, carrying what only solitude could build. Like this video right now as your seal, your declaration that you receive the power of hit bodhidut, and that you honor the solitude as the sacred studio where your wealth blueprint is being completed. Subscribe to Chosen Wealth Wisdom so that every strategic word released for this season finds you in the quiet where you are building. This channel is the companion voice for chosen ones in the castle of their preparation. Drop a comment and tell me, what is the most significant idea that arrived during your solitude that you have not yet acted on? I am reading everyone. I am praying over every name. The hit bodhidut is working. The blueprint is complete. The castle is full. Well done, chosen one. Well done.